Good morning. So often on these videos I will speak to you about soul stuff and aligning with your soul and connecting with your children on soul level, because that's the only space they operate from, but also incorporating into that helps us from an external perspective is the practical things that we can also do to allow us to expand into feeling the calm that we want to feel, and feeling that we are on top of things, and feeling like we've got this and we've got this together. And I find with a lot of my clients, most of my clients, probably 99% of my clients home educate. I home educate, it's just what I chucked in. So I find a lot of them, and a lot of home educating mothers in general, find that they have so much stuff and they feel overwhelmed with tidying up, with the amount of time that they're spending tidying, with the amount of noise that's in their head and the lists that are just ongoing, and that we feel that we need to tick off continuously. So I want to just speak into minimalism and why I love it so much, and why I recommend it to all of my clients, to home educating mothers, to any mother out there, truly, because it literally can change your whole life and how you operate in day-to-day living within your home and with your children. So the number one thing that we do that helps a lot, well, first of all, you have to clear out your stuff. If you've got a lot of things, honestly, go and get the Marie Kondo book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, because that book is insanely amazing, so good. It will help you categorize each of the individual items in your house, and you go through it and you basically keep whatever sparks joy in your heart, and then the other things you let go of with gratitude. So it's a really beautiful way of honouring things that you no longer want, and then you can give them to charity, or you can sell them, or if they're just no good, you can just get rid of them. So when you have gone through that whole process and that cleanse and that decluttering of like all of your things, and you will find what happens when you're going through this process is actually a lot of other things will start clearing too. So it's like a whole pure cleansing process. So you'll find a lot of people will just start dropping out as well. Or you will find that maybe a job you have isn't quite right for you, and you will just move into another one, or some like things will just start happening when you start this clearing out process. And it's because of the intention behind it. It's because of your intention that you want to create a simpler life, that you want to create peace, that you want to create connection and calm within your home, within your parenting journey, for yourself and for your children as well, because kids get overwhelmed if they've got too much stuff, just as much as we do. And also, like, one of the things I don't often ask my kids to do is to tidy up all their toys, because number one, now I don't feel overwhelmed with picking up toys, because I know that it will take 10 minutes even if they're all over the place. And number two, if I do ask them to tidy up their toys, I have absolutely no preference whether they say yes or no. And that's the difference in them then wanting to help out. Also, modelling, tidying up is like a really good way to actually allow them to see what you do when things are all over the place. So when you start cleaning out and getting rid of all of your stuff, again, go through all of your things and just allow yourself to see, does this actually spark joy in my heart? And if not, if it's a no, then you let it go. Or if it's a maybe, you've got a maybe pile as well, you can go back to that pile. This process actually allowed me to now have a child-sized wardrobe that I share with my two children, age 8 and 4. And I'm not even joking. So we have a child-sized wardrobe that I share. All of my clothes and both my kids' clothes are in this one wardrobe, and we share this space because it's really quite simple for me. The less stuff we have, the less time I'm spending tidying up, the more time I then get to have with my kids and doing things that we actually enjoy and that we actually love. If you love cleaning and tidying, great, go for it, good for you. I used to have severe OCD, which I no longer have. And part of that has also been like, if you have ever had like an anxiety based disorder, if you like, then a lot of the time you will be told to do the opposite of the thing that the voice in your head is saying to do. So the thought that comes in, a lot of the time you'll be told to do the opposite. And this is going into the polarity space, but presence doesn't operate in that way. Presence is moving into the space of just observing both sides and not placing any judgment on it. So a lot of things with that I did do the opposite of. And this does not mean that you just live in a messy house and have loads of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But what I learned through coming out of having OCD for a long time is that actually we can live in a really balanced way and still have a clean and tidy home and not feel like if there are toys on the floor, that's overwhelming that I need to pick them up right now instantly, because I don't feel like that anymore. If there's toys on the floor, oh my god, this light is so bright. If there's stuff all over the floor now, I'm just like, okay, I know that I can pick it up in 10 minutes and it's not a big thing. It's really not a big deal. So to get to that space, it can take quite a long time and it's a long process. So you go through the initial like detoxification thing, and this took me about 18 months. This can take a long time, so give yourself that time as well. Don't feel like you have to do it all in a day or a week. Maybe you can like clear out your wardrobe in one day. But for the whole entire house, give yourself that time. It's going to take a long time, especially if you've got kids and you're home educating, because it's like, well, where do I find the time to actually clear stuff out? Just do it as you're going along. Just don't feel like it's a pressure that you have to get it done, because that's part of the whole overwhelm pattern and how you're operating in all of the ways of living. It's just playing out in a different way. So if you feel like, oh, I've got no time to declutter, I've got no time to be minimalist, I've got no time to sort this house out, I feel so overwhelmed just even thinking about it, that's the pattern right there. That's the same pattern that is playing out probably in the overwhelmed space in other areas of your life as well. And all you need to do is notice it. You don't really need to do anything about it, you just need to notice that it's there. And just not judge it, be okay with it being there. Allow yourself to feel the feelings that come up. And then when you start to feel okay with feeling those feelings, you can then move into changing the pattern, and the action you then take on the external can then match up with how you're feeling internally. So if you are still feeling chaotic and all over the place, yes, you can take action to change that externally. Often, sometimes that can also cause more overwhelm because we're not matching up to our internal space. We're trying to frantically get this outcome that we want in order to feel calm. And that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is actually moving into the calm space first, so then your actions on the outside match up. And then when that starts to happen, that can create sometimes more chaos on the outside, but internally you then have the tools and the systems, and your body is in your nervous system is feeling safe enough to then be able to cope with that and move through that. And that's basically where my clients are at when they come to me, is that they've already had their awakening in parenting or maybe some other part of their life, and they come to me in that they want to move through these patterns. So they already are aware, they're already noticing their patterns, but they just can't quite seem to get a handle on moving through and changing it up completely. Maybe they've changed some and there's just like this one or two things that they're just like, no matter what I do, it's just not shifting. That's where my clients come to me from, in that space. So another thing that you can do practical thing that you can do is we keep all toys in one space. So the kids will have like little separate areas for their toys, and they'll have like, so we have like all the cars together, all the train track together, things like that in one box. It keeps it really simple. And we keep all the toys downstairs. There's no toys upstairs in the bedroom. One, because then all the toys are kept in the same place and it makes it quicker and easier to tidy them all up. Two, because then when it's bedtime, there's no toys in the bedroom distracting them when they're trying to get to sleep. So it's simple. Again, it's easy, simple. They're all kept downstairs. And obviously they can take their toys upstairs and play with them, and if their friends come over and stuff like that, it's not like, oh, you're not allowed toys upstairs. It's not that extreme either. So like, this is what I mean. It's not like they have to be downstairs and like it's really strict. It's flowing. So they can take them upstairs and that's fine. And then we bring them back down at maybe like the end of the day or the next day, whatever. So all the toys stay in one space. The less clothes that you have, the less laundry that you're doing, the more time you have, the less overwhelmed you feel. I don't iron anything. I don't own an iron or an ironing board. I just don't do that. It saves time not doing it. Yes, clothes look much more nicer when they're ironed. And maybe you might want to keep your iron just for like certain items, but I don't like jammies and like underwear, socks, like stuff like that. If you're spending a lot of time on that kind of thing, you can just cut that out. You don't need to be doing that if you want to have more time. If you enjoy that, again, great, good for you. If it's feeling like a chore, then just don't do it. Like, this is your life. You get to choose what you do and don't do. And if you were told a lot when you were younger, like, oh, you need to iron this, that, blah, 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 then you're an adult now. You get to choose, actually, do I actually like this or not? And if you don't, then just stop doing it. For God's sake, just stop. Another thing that we don't do, I don't have any kind of, like, stuff on the fridge. So there's no magnets on the fridge, there's no paperwork in the kitchen at all. For me, paper does not belong in a kitchen. There's no like plan of the week or anything on the fridge. And this one, like, I've said this one before and it triggers a lot of people, and they're like, I need to have this on the fridge, like I can't cope without my weekly plan on the fridge so I can see it as clear. A lot of people get triggered by this one. I don't have anything on the fridge, nothing on the fridge. And it just keeps the space clear. It just keeps it clean. It's easier to wipe down. And it's just less clutter. It's just less stuff like in your energy field that then makes you feel overwhelmed and like you can't cope, and that you've got like more things to do. Because the more stuff that's around you, like you'll notice if you go out into nature and you're just with the trees and you're just in the land and you're just maybe by the ocean, then it's just calm and it's just serene and it's simple and it just feels like and your body can relax, because less stuff allows you to feel calmer. So if you have all of this stuff in your home that is cluttering up and you feel like, oh, this is overwhelming, I don't have time to do this, and this, let alone do this, then minimalism could really be for you. Especially when you're home educating, a lot of people feel like, oh, but I have to have all these resources and I have to have all of the like the papers, and I have to have all of the blocks, and I have to have all of the learning tools, and I have to have this, and I have to have all the printouts, and like, how do I even get rid of the work that they've done and all of these things. Even kids that are at school, a lot of mums will say like, oh, how do I get rid of their artwork and things like that. You can obviously like keep the special ones and then the rest just goes. It's creating like the non-attachment to stuff. So if you feel like you can only feel like you are being a good mother when you behave in a certain way, then that's what we're changing here. So we're taking away the attachment to physical objects and physical things, and instead going within and allowing yourself to access the calm from within, rather than relying on and becoming codependent on stuff to make you feel calm. Because it's really an illusion anyway, but also this stuff is not keeping you calm because it's keeping you in a cycle of overwhelm and going round and round and round and round in that circle. There's many other things that I do in terms of minimalism, and that have really helped me to spend less time basically tidying up. And when I do tidy up, I know that it won't take long. For example, like even things like cups, plates, cutlery. This is a really funny one because my cousin actually bought me a cutlery set for my birthday. Because she was so sick of coming over and I only had like one spoon or 2 forks and we couldn't find them. So she actually bought me that. It was more like a gift for herself for me. But anyway, the less things that you have in terms of things like that as well within your kitchen cupboards, the less time you're going to spend washing it all up. I mean, you may have a dishwasher. Great. I don't have a dishwasher. I never have had a dishwasher. So I hand wash everything. So that, again, is less time. It's just like that really simple thing. The less time you're spending tidying and cleaning your home, the more time you have with your kids and doing what it is you like. And actually when you go through the process of clearing out and clearing space and moving into a more minimalistic lifestyle, then you will find that you have time and you don't know what to do with it. You'll just be like, oh, fuck, like the house is actually clean and tidy. What do I do now? And then you get to choose like whatever it is you want, and you'll find yourself thinking like, okay, I need to find something else to do. No, it's not doing, it's just being. Like you're being given this space to just be. So just breathe. And you just be, and you can just enjoy that moment then. It's really, really that simple. There was one other thing I was going to say and I can't remember what it is now. No, it's gone. Okay, if you have any questions on minimalism, then please ask in the comments section, and please share your experience as well with home education or homeschooling. I know in like different countries you might call it homeschooling, unschooling, like whatever the thing is that you call it. We in the UK mainly call it home education. So share your experience with clutter, with feeling overwhelmed, of having too much stuff, or if you have already been through the cleansing period, or if you're going through it now, then please share your experience in the comments. And I will see you all again next time. Lots of love. Bye.